What's up, everybody? This is Devonte Sadler here with my friend Ethan Acaster.
What's up, everyone?
This is the Equilibrium podcast. The goal of this podcast is to have conversations that people should be having already. People don't normally have. And in light of the whole George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and the countless deaths,
Breonna Taylor, all those.
Breonna Taylor, there's the list goes on.
We thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Countless acts of racism and discrimination that go on in this country that go unnoticed, that don't make the news, like how George Floyd's death did. We're here to have conversations about those things. I'm Black, obviously. Ethan is white, obviously. That might not be so obvious.
And we have to tell you a little bit about ourselves before we get, into the main topics of the podcast. I guess we'll give you a rundown of what this podcast is really about, because it's not just going to be about, racism and stuff. It's just a place to go to talk about stuff that maybe the news or other outlets tend to not focus on, or that people are too scared to talk about. And we want to provide a platform that creates, a sense of unity with everyone.
And I will say, Ethan, I really love the name choice. I really do, and the logo too.
And the logo. I made the logo. We were talking to some people about the logo, but apparently they weren't good, so I just made it.
Yeah, just went ahead and did it.
So,
which is very wallet friendly. I appreciate you doing that, bro.
So bear with us through the first episodes. We're still figuring out how to do all this stuff, and the first few episodes might not be, professional, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get into a good flow. Try not to be too awkward. Try not to have too many awkward pauses while we gather our thoughts.
First few episodes, there might be a few awkward pauses, but you learn by doing it. So hopefully it'll be good.
Hopefully after quarantine ends, we can do this in the studio and be together while we do this.
Ends, we're planning on getting a little studio set up at my house or Dev's apartment, and maybe eventually, if everything works out, we'll eventually get an apartment together and set up a good studio. So that's all to look forward to. I guess talk a little bit about ourselves. We both graduated college a couple years ago. I studied accounting and business management, and I work as a project financial accountant. Recently got furloughed because of coronavirus. That's going to be one of the topics today. So supposed to go back next month, but we'll see if that happens. Both 23 years old, and I'm originally from England. Moved out here when I was 23. I'm not 23, when I was 13. So I've been here for like 10 years. And that's really it about myself.
Well, Ethan already told you that I graduated from college and now I'm 23, so I guess I'm done. Just kidding. My name is Devonte Sadler. I was originally born in New Jersey. I moved to Pennsylvania when I was 10, 11 years old, back in 7th grade, and I've been here ever since. And went to college was roommates with Ethan for 3 out of those 4 years, University of Pittsburgh. And now I'm in Philadelphia, came to Philly for grad school, got my master's, and now I am going to continue my education and hopefully finish off with a medical doctorate. I'm trying to go finish off in med school. So hopefully we can get that done. But it's really nice to have this little side, not little side venture, but something outside of work for Ethan and outside of studying, for me to do this. And Ethan, I just wanted to like touch on like the name of the podcast, Equilibrium, meaning balance.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I was going
and
for. Just balance between,
the reason I love the name is because you have to when you can't just take the good without having the bad.
Yeah,
You have to talk about the bad stuff.
yeah,
You have to, because if you let those things build up, if you don't talk about it, when those bad things do come to light, it blows up on you. It
yeah. You
blows
have
up.
to go through the bad
You
stuff
have
to get to the good.
exactly, and you have things like protest and rioting and people expressing themselves in aggressive ways, um, people acting out of character, and it's all because of built up, pent up frustration.
This has
And
been happening since time began, pretty much. All
exactly,
this stuff, and it's all just finally
hmm
it's like a boiling point.
exactly.
But,
And we want to get to that equilibrium.
yeah,
We want to get to that balance point where we can talk about the bad things without coming at each other's necks. You know, some guy could walk in to the barbershop, say he's a Republican, and people won't give him like a
yeah,
weird,
like
dirty look.
like weird looks and be like, yeah.
You
So
know,
yeah, we
same
want
and
to,
vice versa too. Like we should be able to. Life should be ever flowing. It
yeah,
shouldn't be to the point where uh, we just ignore these things and put these things away, put them in the closet, and don't confront them until something big happens. We should be
yeah,
constantly talking about this because that's the way you get used to things. That's the way you get used to
yeah.
stuff like that. If you've never seen a black person, you're gonna have
You're gonna
preconceived
you're gonna
notions.
have those notions that you see on social media, you see in the news, if however
Mhm.
they portray certain people, and just it's just not a way to develop your thoughts
Mhm.
for things.
Exactly.
So that's why we really created the, regardless of um George Floyd and stuff, which is what I said to Dev after all that stuff happened. I said we need to do something. Regardless of that, this is like we've talked about this, and we want this podcast to just be something that people can just relate to, and just be, we want to be the realest podcast out there. We want
Yeah.
none of that fake stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse or anything.
None of
Trying
that fake shit.
none of that fake shit. So yeah, none of that fake shit, and we just want, that's pretty much it. We're gonna be the realest podcast out there you'll listen to.
I mean, hopefully you stick with us. If we talk about something that you're uncomfortable with and you turn us off, then I guess you turn us off. But we're gonna
No,
talk
no.
about it. We're not running. We're not gonna.
If we talk about something you're uncomfortable with, listen and
Mm-hmm.
provide your comments in the comment section or your reviews, and we're reading. We're gonna read everything, and we're gonna listen to
I
everything
certainly hope people do that. Mm-hmm.
everything you're gonna say. So this is not like one of those things where we're the only people talking about these topics. We want you to be, talking about these topics with us, and want to be going through this stuff together, pretty much.
Yeah. This is gonna be a fun podcast. It's gonna be fun.
It sounds serious right now,
Yeah, it sounds
it sounds
like
really serious right
it's
now.
like shit. Like these guys are like CNN or Fox News. No, we're not that. No, this is gonna be a fun
I'm
podcast.
just
We're
being
gonna have
real. We're
fun.
just being real with everyone. That's
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
we're gonna have a laugh during this, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just there's no set I had to like pick like I don't know what to call it, like what category this podcast was, and like there's like no option for like everything, which is like what this podcast is.
We
Everything.
cover
If something
everything.
comes up about the goddamn like Mars or something about Elon Musk going to Mars, we're gonna talk about that. So
Exactly.
it's not just about all the serious stuff, but it's all that serious stuff has been in the news lately, and this is our first episode. So I think this is the right time to start with. Oh yeah, before we get started with the topics, we're gonna try and keep this podcast around an hour long.
Yeah.
Probably sometimes shorter, sometimes longer.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Don't know how long we're at right now, but I started the stopwatch a little too late, so we're probably at like 10 minutes or so. So around about an hour long or something. And I think in today's episode we're going to be talking about just a main overview of all topics that have been happening over the past
Mm-hmm.
pretty much throughout quarantine, because we only just started it now, so we want to attack the big things that have happened. So obviously the two biggest things that have happened are you know uh, racism and coronavirus. So
First,
definitely going to be attacking those two topics today.
so where do you want to start, Ethan?
Uh, we should start with racism. I think.
Mm-hmm.
As George Floyd and all the stuff's been happening, all the protests, all the riots, all the stuff in Minneapolis, etc. Um, what are your first thoughts on the whole situation?
Um, it
Let me rephrase that. As a black man living in the United States,
mhm.
how do you feel? How do you feel? What do you think, and what can be done about this whole situation?
uh the first thing that most black men in this country uh think when they see something like that is that could happen to me.
Yeah.
That could easily happen to me. Uh, Same thing with the Ahmaud Arbery situation. He
Yeah,
was
Ahmaud
just he was
Arbery,
just going.
Breonna Taylor.
She was just in her apartment.
No
Ahmaud was
knock,
just going for a jog.
no knock search warrant. They just came in, and
Mhm.
the boyfriend thought that they were intruders, which I think any right person would think.
Yeah,
And they're just this kind of stuff's just they have to stop. And it's hard. Like us two people can't, us together we can't come up with a solution, but all of us as a community we can come up with a solution to you know to provide good feedback, or just to make things better.
yeah.
um so it's crazy what's happening in this world right now. And this shouldn't be happening in 2020. So
Mhm.
it's time for a change. It's been time for a change, and we hope that we provide some light into people's um, heads and stuff like that. If they're going through tough times and stuff like this, hopefully they can tune into us, and we can provide some good perspectives and stuff like that.
Um, First and foremost, I want to say that I really appreciate how much you care about this because you came to me about this.
Yeah.
Um, not saying that you're not someone who's aware or socially conscious
Mm-hmm.
or insensitive, but this is tough. it's tough to talk about. It's and you know how upset I was about it. You know,
Yeah.
I've been out there. I've been out
Yeah,
there.
you're out and you're
You know,
sending us,
I've
videos and
seen.
photos of the protests and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wasn't out there breaking stuff or anything like that, but I went out there to see how upset
Yeah.
people, and I was just as upset.
Yeah.
Um, you asked me what I thought, and as much as it hurts to see something like that, and as much as it could happen to me, I run every day. I've been running every day for the
Yeah.
past month and a half. That could be me. I could be Ahmaud Arbery. I
Yeah.
could be George Floyd. I could it happen to me. Um, to see those things hurts, but we're numb at this point. Black people are numb at this point.
Yeah.
We expect these things to keep popping up, and that shouldn't be the case. You know,
And the
I
bad
shouldn't.
thing is, I expect these things to keep popping up too. Like,
Exactly.
crazy.
The sad part about it is I wish more people that looked like you, Ethan, expected it too
Yeah.
and tried to do something to stop it. That's the issue. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of white people out there who um will run away from this and pretend like it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Pretend that systemic racism isn't an issue, and it is. Um, there we're not that we're running a race, but it's like running a race and being held at the start for 400 years while the other
Yeah.
contestants keep lapping you
Yeah.
and
They keep.
lapping you and lapping you.
That's a really good,
Um,
way to put it. And
so
just
I can't ever reach my 100% full potential. I can't.
yeah.
I can do well in life here in America. America's a great country. There's a reason why we're both here. I'm of Jamaican heritage. My family came here from somewhere else. Your family came here from
Yeah.
somewhere else. There's a reason for that. I can do amazing in life. I could make millions of dollars, but because of my skin, I still can't fulfill 100% of
Yeah.
my potential, if that makes sense. It's like swimming in a pool with
With like,
glass
with like
at the
weights,
surface.
like weights attached to you, and the other
Exactly.
contestants don't have weights. Like, it's just,
Exactly.
it's just facts for, it's just how the world is, and it just needs to change. Like this is honestly, like, baffles me. Like,
Mhm. But
how.
then Ethan, people say, well, what about Chicago? You guys are killing each other. Um, what about Philly? Uh, that to me is still, it's a result, it's a side effect
That is the side effect. Yeah.
of systemic racism.
Yeah.
When you place people into a certain sector of the community, you deprive that sector of job opportunity. You make it economically unstable. Um, it's overpop. These places are
Overpopulated,
overpopulated.
and then
There's
the
no
whole
money coming in.
family, the whole, ancestors and stuff been treated but like shit their whole lives.
Exactly.
It's just like, it's an effect. It's
Hmm.
just a, top down effect that is just happens, and that's why we see all that stuff in Chicago and, Center Philly and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like, it all stems from, you know racism and, not being equal
Hmm.
as a whole, human race.
Exactly. These things, you see these things happening, Ethan. You see the killings, you see the murder rate, you see all these things, right? And you're like, why are these people doing this to you? Like, why is this happening in this area? When I have a family. I have no job. I have no way to make money. I have to maybe turn to something that's probably not the most legal thing to do. Maybe I have to sell something, whatever that is. I'm doing whatever I can to provide for my family and to keep myself afloat,
Yeah.
right? So I decide to do that. I make money that way. You make that illegal. I continue to do that because I still need money, but I get caught. That thing that's illegal, I'll selling weed, right?
Yeah.
You make it a federal offense for years. I go to jail for over 25 years, 20 years
Yeah.
for a weed offense. I come out. I have no education. I have no job experience. I have nothing. I'm a felon. Can't vote.
Yeah. What did they
It's
expect to happen? You know what I mean?
exactly. It's a cycle. People are trapped in
Constant cycle.
exactly. Um, I mean, I think we're at a point where you know people are trying to protect themselves. People are trying to protect their families. People are
Mhm.
trying to protect their friends. And has it gotten out of control? Yeah. I mean, I'll admit that it has gotten out of control. But don't tell me, oh well, what about Chicago?
Yeah.
Because police police are sworn to protect you. I shouldn't have to worry about the police shooting me. The police don't have their job is not their lives, right?
Yeah.
People are protecting their lives in the streets and their families and their friends in the streets. Police are supposed to protect those people. They're not supposed to be adding on to the violence. They're not supposed to be killing people. You know, have there been instances where, um, you know, they have to use deadly force and stuff like? Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And in those instances, there's not much to say. You know, there's no art. There's not much of an argument. But I see these things. I see these things like George Floyd going on, and someone who's already handcuffed, one
Mhm.
already in
I mean, if you look at it, you like it came out after, and
mhm.
these facts might not be 100% correct, so forgive me. But like four or something like that of the police officers were already like charged or something, already
Yeah.
involved in shootings and stuff like that. So like
um,
something like that. It's I might be exaggerating a little bit with the numbers of the officers or something.
I believe the main perpetrator, former officer Derek Chauvin,
Yeah.
had over 16 complaints.
Yeah.
Ethan, what job in America can you keep after having
16
16
complaints.
complaints?
I guess the
16, bro.
Minneapolis, because I guess you can still become a Minneapolis police officer after 16 complaints.
If you get 16 complaints at Taco Bell, you're fired.
Yeah.
You won't even make it to 16. You're fired after like 5.
Yeah.
If, you know, I drive Uber on the side, right? If I get 0 stars or 1 starred 16 times, they're
Yeah.
probably going to tell me to stop driving.
Yeah. Like Uber's gonna call you up and be like,
You're done.
yeah. If I get if I get 16 complaints, at my accounting job, I'm gonna be fired.
There's no job in this country that I can think of that you can keep a job at.
There's literally no job.
And they all no, I don't want to say all because I don't have it in front of me right now, but most of those officers had multiple complaints.
Yeah.
Are police officers going to get I'll be fair. I'll be fair. Police officers are going to get complaints a lot of the time because people just don't like police officers, right?
Yeah. But the complaints they got were serious complaints.
Mm-hmm.
Some cops, people were just complaining just to complain, but those certain cops had serious complaints against them,
Mm-hmm.
and they should not have been, working. They should not have been in the force.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, that's what is so messed up about this whole situation is like, how do we allow that How does the government and stuff allow that to happen? How do the states allow that to happen?
Yeah.
It's crazy because that's like Minneapolis is just one thing that we've heard of. It happens in every state, probably,
Happens
and
everywhere. It happens. It's happening. It's happening right now.
yeah,
It's
there's
happening right outside my
not
door
the only
right now.
police department that has probably had a shit ton of complaints about their officers,
Exactly.
and they've done nothing about it. With that being said, not all police officers are bad. We're not trying to
Mm-hmm.
say that. There's some police officers, and we've seen the videos of that too, along with the protests where they're really trying to do a good thing. But there's that 1%, that is just, ruining it for everyone.
It's a line of work that can't afford to have bad people in it.
Yeah,
Though.
you can't afford to have bad people.
That's the thing. It's a line of work that involves life and death.
Yeah.
What if you had a heart problem? You had to see a cardiologist, and the cardiologist, the surgeon, had 16 complaints. Would you want him
There's
to
a commercial
cut you
about that, I
open?
feel like. And a woman walks in and there's like a commercial and he goes, like, how's the doctor? And he goes, he's okay.
Like, nah, bro, you can't just be okay. You can't just
it's an okay police department. We'll be okay.
No, you gotta be stellar.
Yeah. He's gotta be, the greatest police department.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Like you can't. There's no room for error in something like that.
Yeah.
Just like the I don't know if you saw the Rayshard Brooks situation in Atlanta, where the gentleman Rayshard was drunk. He fell asleep at the wheel in line at a Wendy's, right?
Yeah.
And police were called. They came over. They wake him up. They do a field sobriety test. He fails, and I'll give the police credit. They did their jobs to that point. I didn't feel like they were discriminating against him. He was drunk.
Yeah.
He was out. He's at the wheel. What happened was after he failed the test and they went to arrest him, he resisted arrest. He grabbed the officer's taser and which I believe, I'm not sure if it was discharged or not discharged yet, but he grabbed the officer's taser. He fled, and I guess he pointed that taser back at him. At the officer, so the officer shot him, and unfortunately he did not live through that incident. That's a tough one for me. That's tough.
Yeah.
Rayshard Brooks does not deserve to be dead. He doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
The question is, did the officer have time to process? Oh, did he grab my gun or did he grab my taser?
Yeah, that's the hard thing to talk about, and that's where it's like such a gray area, that kind of stuff. It's like
I unequivocally think that man should still be alive.
Oh yeah, 100% should be alive.
What that officer did was wrong. My question is, and I hope I don't piss people off by saying this, by questioning this. I shouldn't piss people off by questioning it. But anyway,
it shouldn't even be a thought about pissing people off. You're just.
I'm gonna say it anyway. Whatever.
Yeah.
Was it malicious though? Was it a malicious? Did he intend to kill him? Did he? Yeah. What would I do? What would I do if somebody grabbed my taser and pointed at me? What would I hope the officer would do if I was the drunk person trying to flee? I hope I hope he would see that, hey, I'm drunk. I'm not in my right frame of mind. Please don't shoot me. But as an officer, it's like, dang, I'm in a really tough line of work where my life is on the line.
But at the same time, they should be trained for these.
They should be.
Certain situations.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely
you see the military go through these crazy, intense situations that the cops probably should be put through too.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be getting, that training on to deal with those kind of situations. And he probably would have been in a better frame of mind to know what to do if that was the case.
Yeah, it's like people say, oh well, the officer was scared. I don't want you to be scared if you're a police officer.
Be scared if you're a police
officer. Are you gonna have a heightened level? Are you gonna be afraid? Naturally, as a human being, probably. But if you have this like heightened level of fear that causes you to avoid, not avoid, but deflect from your training, and do something outside of what you learned in the academy. If you're gonna do those things, then you shouldn't be a police officer.
Yeah, 100%.
You should always stick to your training, no matter how scared you are. You shouldn't go off and act recklessly. It's not. Fear isn't an excuse at that point. So, but it's unfortunate these things happen.
It's unfortunate these things still happen.
They happen too often. They happen too often. And the good thing about this, Ethan, is that the conversation's being had with a lot more people now.
Yeah.
A lot more people are out here. A lot more people are speaking up. I remember being down there, and the protest was extremely peaceful, but the National Guard was out.
Yeah.
And I just remember standing next to another black guy.
Yeah, I remember you telling me this story. Yeah.
We didn't say a word.
Yeah.
We didn't say anything. We looked at each other. We just gave each other a head nod. And after 5 minutes, I was like, this is amazing. Because I haven't had to say anything. Because there's all these people around me that don't look like me that are speaking for me. And that's never happened before.
It's never happened before. Yeah.
We've had to fight for ourselves for over 400 years.
Yeah, it does feel like change, it's coming, and we hope that it just doesn't get pushed to the side like it usually does.
Yeah,
we hope this continues, and we just it just needs to be changed. As simple as that. It just needs to be changed.
Hopefully action follows all of this, this discourse that's going on right now. Please research who you're voting for.
Yeah, research. We want you guys to discuss. We're going to be posting this to YouTube. We're going to be putting on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So definitely on the YouTube comments, just discuss, and we're going to reply, and we're going to do all that. You do anything to reach out to us. I got to create some more accounts, like Twitter accounts and stuff like that, so you can interact with us more. We want to create a whole community, pretty much. A community that's, that stands together through everything.
We'll be interactive with you. We're not gonna run. If you wanna talk shit, then
talk shit.
One. Yeah, man. It's nice to see the different faces.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah,
it's nice to see that. I really, that touched my heart. And hopefully the action, people keep the same energy. People gotta keep the same energy going. Not just now, but forever.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't die out. Um, please, like I said, know who you're going to. This, I'm not trying to get too political. Know who you're voting for. I don't care if you can tell me that, hey, I did my research on this person fits what I want,
Mm-hmm.
whether they have a R or a D next to their name. If you did your research and did your due diligence to find out what that person is all about, and you decided to vote for them, and they just happen to be a Republican or a Democrat, then I can't say anything
Yeah.
because you did your research. You know who you're voting for. But there's too many people. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of Black people. I could speak on this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Black people that will blindly vote. We tend to vote Democrat, and a lot of people go to the polls and just click on all the D's.
Yep. That's what.
You
That's what
can't do
happens.
that. You can't do that because you don't know if they have your exact best interest in mind.
Yeah.
You know, what's their take on the, if it's a local election, right? If you're voting for a mayor, what's the mayor's criminal justice policy? What's his or her take on education?
Yeah. You gotta research all these things, pick what the best person for you is.
Exactly.
And
No more voting blindly.
yeah.
Also, it's not just about voting. It's not just about voting. It's about getting out of your comfort zone as an individual. I've said this multiple times to you and the rest of our friends, Ethan. We need the white guy or lady that's living the perfect life, driving the perfect car with the perfect house, living in the suburbs. We need them to come down and maybe mentor a kid on how to be that successful down here in the inner city. We need them to come down and organize events that will get kids off the streets and into doing something productive. We need people that we don't normally see, because the people that are already doing it, they've done a lot. They've done all they can to this point. We need more coming in. We need more people that look like you to come in and contribute. I need to do it. People that look like me need to do it too. It's not just you. It's when the problem, Ethan, is a lot of the times, Black folks, they grow up. We grow up in our neighborhoods, and it's so tough growing up sometimes. That your goal is to get out. Like, you want to get out. You know, kids used to say that, all the time.
Yeah, I imagine.
In middle school and high school. Like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna make it to the NFL. I'm gonna make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of here. When we get out, we gotta come back and give back. We gotta contribute too. We can't forget about where we came from. I'm willing to go back to Coatesville, which is where my hometown. I'm willing to go back there, and if a kid wants to go down a good path, and if they're going down a bad path, if I could turn them around or enhance their life in any way, whether it's in a mentorship role, or any little way, I'm willing to do that, and I will do that, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And I need other people to do that. I need everyone to do that too. I need everyone to do something that they weren't doing before this happened.
Yeah, you gotta step out of your comfort zone, and we're too busy hiding behind this little device right here.
Exactly.
And scrolling through Twitter, Instagram stuff.
Dang, with that 11 Pro, you got money.
11 Pro. New phone? I needed a new phone. I had an iPhone 8, and it was like not living another day. So Got that 11 Pro. The camera's sick. The camera's so sick.
I know something about that, man. Follow me on Instagram, by the way. Devonte Sadler, all one word.
Wait, I don't even know my I'll figure it out.
I think it's Ethan Acaster, all one word too.
Yeah, I'll figure it out in the future. But follow us follow us everywhere.
Yeah.
Pretty much just look our names up. We'll probably be in Google. I don't know.
Don't follow me on Facebook. I don't want to be followed on Facebook. Facebook is.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook anymore, so don't friend request me on Facebook.
Yeah, don't
I don't know how much longer I'll honestly have Facebook for. I've deleted it once before and I got it back for some reason. So I probably will end up deleting it again.
I keep it to talk to extended
family. Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Honestly.
That's about it.
There are a lot of Facebook warriors out there.
Facebook warriors. That's true.
People.
There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there.
I call them Facebook warriors because they're more abundant on there. On that, for some reason, they feel like they're a member of Congress on Facebook. It's like
they feel like they've got a degree in,
like they're the fucking president or something. And it's like, bro, like you don't know shit. You don't know
Facebook communication or something like that.
Exactly. Anyways, that's my Instagram. Follow that.
Yeah, follow Instagram. Actually, follow. We're not on that topic. Follow the equilibrium. I'll pull it up right now, real quick. What our whole shebang is. It's I'm pretty sure it's the Equilibrium Podcast on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Just look us up on all those 3 things. On our YouTube channel, there will be links for everything. I'll provide those links for everything in the bio, whatever it's called. And so follow us on everything.
It's called a bio.
On yeah, it's called a bio. On we're going to be posting the full episode with the cameras and the audio, obviously, on YouTube, and then we're going to be posting clips and stuff on TikTok and clips and stuff on Instagram and just any other post on Instagram. Then obviously on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, we'll be posting the audio. So we're going to be everywhere. You can literally find us everywhere. You don't have to select which one you want to watch us on. You can watch us on anything. If you just want to watch the clips, and by all means, just watch the clips. No, we don't care. We're doing it for us, and that's the main thing about this podcast. We're doing it for us, and we're doing it, hopefully for you guys too.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get that following up, expand a little more, expose ourselves to more people. That's
definitely.
Cool. Goal is to come here, sit down every week, and have a conversation about whatever. So hopefully you guys can get in on that conversation.
Yeah. All right. So we're around about 45-ish minutes, and we spent a lot of time on that topic, which is, honestly, is what we needed to do. Yeah. So we're not going to be able to hit everything today, but I think we got to bring up, there's 2 more main things we really want to talk about, and that's the coronavirus. I know you've dealt with that a lot as you work in the medical field. You're studying to be a surgeon, and then mental health, which is what we both suffer with, anxiety and stuff, and we both take anxiety medicine stuff. So that's something mental health is, we want to talk about mental health in every episode that we do. That is something that we're really passionate about, and trying to provide light in someone's day about mental health. So that's something that's going to be the only mainstay in every episode we do. In every other episode, it's going to be whatever topics we want to discuss. So I think we should get to the coronavirus. What do you
oh boy. Man. Oh man, let's talk about the coronavirus. First off, let's give the people an update here. Um,
Yeah, give an update.
Currently in the United States, we are at 2.8 million confirmed cases, um, and 131,000 deaths. 131,000 deaths is pathetic, if you ask me. It's sad for those families.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to those families. Those families were failed. A lot of those families were failed. Um, this could have been handled a lot better. We're running out of time to get a grip on it. If you ask me, this is just my opinion. We're running out of time, and if we don't reverse course and handle this differently,
Yeah.
It's gonna get bad. It's going to get bad. I've tested. I've helped out with the testing. I've volunteered with coronavirus testing during quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people go out there. There's a lot of people going out there. I don't know if the number's still high. I kind of checked the numbers the other day, and I saw that less people are reporting to these testing sites. Go get tested.
Yeah.
Stop being stubborn. Wear a mask.
Yeah. Wear a
It's
mask.
not impeding on your rights. You can go without a haircut for a little while. You know, you don't have to go to the gym. Go outside, go for a run, go for a walk. There are things you can do to suppress this. There's a personal, before I get into government,
Yeah.
there's a personal
The stuff we
responsibility.
can do to help it. And quite frankly, we haven't been doing our job as
No,
as people, who want to be healthy and stuff to, combat this. And it's crazy. Those numbers are crazy. Like from the most developed, best medical care in the world, from the United States, those numbers should be way, way lower than what they are.
you got people showing up to city halls around the country with guns, with signs saying, "I need a haircut."
Those people in
Come
like
on, man. Come on,
California who
man.
like outside like
I just
gym doing
Ethan. Sorry,
so
Ethan. I just had somebody in my Facebook Messenger
just now.
ask me a couple nights ago. Tell me this is a hoax. This is some fake, whatever. You know what they said?
What they said?
He broke down the name COVID-19.
Oh yeah, you did.
He broke down the name. Like he cracked, like as if he was cracking a code.
Cracked Morse code.
He broke. So COVID-19, right?
Yeah.
He broke it down. He said "co" means coronavirus. VI virus. D disease. 2019.
Yeah.
That's what he did, and he was like, "See, it's fake." I'm like, "Yo, what? Are you kidding me?" Like he said that like he was like Sherlock Holmes or something. he figured it out. Are you kidding me? This whole notion that this is created in a lab, that it's a bioweapon.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
And all this racism towards Chinese people. Is the Chinese government, talk about the Chinese government. Don't talk about Chinese people.
Yeah.
Talk about the government. Was it handled the best way in China? I don't know. Reports suggest it was not.
Yeah.
But I look outside, and last time I checked, I'm in the United States of America. I'm worried about what's going on here. And right now, it's not. We're not cutting it right now.
Ain't cutting it right.
If this were a bioweapon, right, which is what this guy was suggesting.
Yeah.
If this was a weaponized virus, if I were to modify a virus and I wanted to kill someone, Ethan, that virus is going to kill you, 100%, not 100, 90%. I would say, to be real. There's going to be no if I'm going to manufacture something, why would I manufacture it to the point where you can recover?
Yeah.
Why would the mortality rate of my weapon be 3%, a little under 3%? It's not a weapon. This virus acts like a virus.
Yeah,
it acts like a virus.
Like it's the flu.
Exactly. The difference is we don't understand it. We don't.
We don't understand it like the flu. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the difference. So to say, oh, this is some weapon from China, no, it's not. If it were, Ethan, I don't know if you're familiar with a bacterium called anthrax.
No, I've heard of it, but I'm not.
You've heard of anthrax, right? Anthrax is usually like what terrorists put in like people's mail, like important people's mail.
Yeah.
They like mail it out to them. They open it and they breathe in the anthrax.
Yeah.
Anthrax has a survivorship of 15%.
Yeah.
Meaning that shit gonna kill you.
Yeah. If this was a weapon to be used against us, it's gonna have the same effects that anthrax is gonna have.
Yeah. Like, come on, people. Come on. Don't let me lose confidence in y'all, in this country. This country is supposed to be full of smart. You might not have to have the highest level of education, but you gotta be smart.
Just do your job to stop the spread. Wear a mask and everything like that. And just stay 6 feet apart, and we'll get there in the end. If we we'll play our part.
Play your part. Educate. It's so easy.
Educate yourself.
It's so easy to go on like a Khan Academy.
Yeah.
And get a basic knowledge, a very basic knowledge of how a virus works. See, I'm not gonna get into it totally, but the way it works is the way this virus is operating, to my understanding, with what's been put out there in medical journals and literature, is this virus is has been hard to get a grasp on and hard to understand because it undergoes several point mutations in its genome.
Yeah.
So it's changing. It's what makes the virus is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Like your DNA, right?
Yeah.
Your DNA makes you, right?
Right.
What if you had the ability to change your DNA? Then you could change you.
Goddamn mutant from X-Men.
It's not going to change like you in a very drastic way.
No.
But it's like going from Ethan Acaster to an Ethan Acaster version 2.
Yeah.
Where something is different.
Something is different, yeah.
So I think they're trying to, I don't know the exact virology of it and the immunology that's taking place right now. But I do have a general knowledge of how viruses work.
Yeah.
They're trying to find some way, some marker that they can target, or some way to prevent the virus from infecting your DNA your genome. They're probably trying something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know what the testing, what the vaccination process is like, what they're doing with the vaccine and stuff, but they're trying something. But to say that this is some manufactured lab experiment, that's not true.
Yeah.
It acts just like a virus. Some
It's
viruses kill you.
exactly like a virus.
I
This is
don't want to keep ranting, but one more thing. One more thing that
one more
pisses
thing.
me off. When I hear, and I'm not going to name names, but when I hear the numbers are going up because
Yeah.
we're testing about it. What do you expect? What do you expect? Like, what? We should slow down testing because with all the testing, numbers are going up.
What?
Yeah,
That doesn't make
exactly.
that makes
Doesn't make
no
sense.
sense.
That's what's supposed to happen. When you test, the purpose of testing is to expose who has it and who doesn't have it, right?
Yeah.
Should we stop testing for AIDS and HIV because the numbers are too high? I don't want the numbers to go up for AIDS.
Yeah. You know what?
Testing for that. Let's stop testing for herpes. Let's stop testing for syphilis. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, you know what? Herpes was such a 2018, you know,
Oh yeah,
2018 thing. We don't need to do
it's
any
outdated.
testing in
Don't.
2020. Screw that.
Oh man. See this topic. You know,
We could go on for hours about,
I
this,
can go on for hours about stupidity.
the
I
stupid.
love people. I love y'all. I love y'all. I don't know who's watching this. I love you, but I hate people too. I can't stand people. I I'm starting. I've said it before. Said it earlier in the show. I'm starting to lose confidence in people.
Yeah.
I really am. Y'all have exposed yourselves in these last 3.5 years since who came in. Y'all have exposed yourselves as ignorant, don't give a fuck type of people. Like you guys just don't care. A lot of you start caring. It's not hard. Get on the internet. You have one of these, right?
Yeah.
You
Use that.
have access to the internet.
Instead of hiding behind
Start.
social media, use it for research and education.
Yes,
Educate yourself.
please,
And
please.
wear a goddamn mask.
Damn, man.
Wear a
I'm about to have an aneurysm.
What a first episode.
Like for real, man. Damn. But
All right. Well, we could go on this topic for hours, the coronavirus. Maybe we'll talk about this next episode more in depth.
yeah, we'll continue with the COVID talk. We'll probably talk about COVID a lot until
honestly, as it's going on, whenever there's a health thing or anything in the news, we're going to talk about it. So Corona's going to be here to stay as a topic of our podcast for the foreseeable future. But see what time we're at. So I think we're approaching the hour right now. So I think we want to end it with mental health, awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some facts with me right now. I did some research. It's from the National Alliance of Mental Health, and some of the facts that they have stated in. You can do a little Google, and and you'll be able to see all these statistics on the website. So the first one is 19.1% of US adults experienced mental illness in 2018, which is 1 in 5 people.
Yeah.
The next statistic is 4.6% of it was of those 19.1% people, where it was a serious mental illness, which is about 1 in 25 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then 16.5% of the youth, which the youth they have described here as 6 to 17, experienced a mental health disorder. I looked at this stats when I was looking at it, and I was like shocked about how high those stats were. I was really taken back by those stats.
Numbers been that high? Did you figure that out?
Huh?
Since when?
Since
How long have
what year did they do the statistical?
what year? Yeah, what year?
2018, so it's probably higher now.
I wonder if that started trending upward around the age of social media.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a boomer, but it's tough, bro. Like you get on social media, and my anxiety is different. My anxiety doesn't come from what I see on social media. So
Yeah, my anxiety is completely different too.
my anxiety is completely different. But I know a lot of people get anxious over what they see on their phone, and
Yeah.
then they engage in what we call social comparison theory, which is
Yeah, and I imagine
people. Go
the
ahead.
statistics are really high right now due to the coronavirus and everything that's happening right now.
It's just doom and gloom with the news, constantly seeing the news on Twitter, constantly keeping up with it, constantly, there's just all these things that just seem so dire and negative, and it feels like there's no ending in sight.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy. It's crazy. And like mental health, there needs to be more awareness in the world. There's 43.3% of US adults with a mental illness receive treatment. That's less than half of the people who have a mental illness receive treatment. And only 50.6% of the youth, which is aged 6 to 17, receive treatment. Half of those people. That should be 100% of people. That's where we would like it to be.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of that has to do with access to healthcare, access to there's a lot that goes into.
Yeah, there's a lot we can talk about the healthcare and how it should be provided for this country, and a lot of people don't have the insurance and stuff to cover, the bills and stuff like that. So that is a lot of, or at least some of why they haven't been tested for mental illness. So that definitely does play a part in some of the numbers, but then some of it is just people are scared to get.
Mental illness can be expensive, bro.
And it is very expensive.
The reason I say that is because true anxiety makes you think you're looking for something that's wrong, right? You think something is actually wrong with you. You're looking for a solution to your problem. Why am I feeling this way? I've gotten CAT scans done.
Yeah, I've got CAT scans done. I've got
looking for something physical. I'm looking for something physical to explain why I'm feeling how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it. And after the fact, I got pen medicine, this, that,
still think
coming in the mail. And it's like, damn, I really didn't have to do that, but I just had to know. I had to know that I didn't have a brain.
I got all these tests done on me. I got blood work done, and I got the results back. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect, and still.
And that's when it gets frustrating.
And then you say to yourself, you know what? This testing has to be wrong.
Exactly.
Has to be wrong. I'm right, and there's something 100% wrong with me. And they're just.
It's almost as if it's like you should be relieved when you find out nothing's wrong,
but you're not.
It's almost as if you would have been relieved finding out that something was wrong.
Yeah. That's true.
Because then it would be like, oh shit, like that's why.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I feel this way.
Yeah, let's fix it. And then when you find out nothing's wrong, you're like, oh, there has to be something wrong. Like, why am I feeling this way? And
you can't put a cast on this.
Yeah.
You can't put a bandage on it. You can't use crutches to get over it. It's the brain is very complex.
So complex, and needs to be more awareness about what people go through, because
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but this could lead to suicide,
Hmm.
which is the second leading cause of death of ages between 10 and 34. And 90% of those people who committed suicide showed symptoms of mental health
Hmm.
issues. And, we don't want that to be the case. So if you are suffering from anxiety, depression, or any mental health issues, reach out to someone and, just talk to someone, talk to us, in the comments.
Come to us. Come to
Talk to us in the
us.
comments.
I talk to people all the time. I have people that text me all the time
Yeah.
that
People,
know I went through it and they're
yep.
going through it. And I told them how I dealt with it. And what I did may not be the best way for them, but they're talking about it. They're having a
Yeah.
conversation,
It's
and
great.
that's
I've been dealing it since my sophomore year of college or whatever. So it's
mhm.
like however many years ago now. And
Yeah.
it's something I gotta live with, but it's something I embrace too. So if you guys, need someone to talk to, put it in the comments. We're gonna talk to you guys. We'll talk you through it. Things that help me if I have anxiety is breathing. Definitely just take deep breaths. I like to go outside, take a little walk, and just be with myself outside with the fresh air. That really helps me. Drink a lot of water. That helps. And maybe eat something. That's what helps me deal with anxiety. And I sometimes take a shower too. That helps me calm down too.
Mhm.
And you also got to figure out what your triggers for anxiety are. It took me a while to figure it out, but mine was alcohol, drinking too much alcohol. I'll be very anxious the next day. Caffeine really messes me up, and all of that stuff. So if you got to find out what triggers it and find out how to you know combat it when it comes on.
Um, I don't I don't think I have specific things that I do to deal with it. I think
And
I've come to a point.
everyone is different, so these stuff might not work for you.
Mhm.
So you got to find what works for you.
What I did, what I did was and this kind of relates to the name of this podcast, equilibrium, right?
Yeah.
What I did was I stopped fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I accepted it as a part of me.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I did too.
I, like I said at the top of the hour, you take the, if you're gonna take the good, you got to take the bad. I'm choosing to not only love the good aspects of my life, but
Yeah.
with
Also,
the anxiety,
yeah.
I'm choosing to love that too, in a weird way. I know that sounds weird, but you have to love your flaws.
Yeah. Love yourself.
You have to love yourself, and that you can't love part of yourself. You can't love just the good things. You have to love the bad things too. And as soon as I started doing that, as soon as I accepted, like, hey, I have this mental thing. I'm not crazy. I'm a very capable person.
Yeah.
As soon as I accepted it,
Yeah. You learn how
it
to live with
became
it.
a lot better. It became a lot better.
Yep.
I don't have anxiety attacks anymore. Not often.
Yeah. Same.
The last one I had was when I saw you a few
Yeah.
months back. That was the last one. And
Yeah. My anxiety
there were
attacks.
few and far between before that happened too. And
Yeah.
I don't have them anymore.
My anxiety attacks used to happen like every day sophomore year,
Mm.
and now now they've already happened. I've learned how to calm myself down and deal with it, and we're here to tell you guys that you can get that too. Um, just gotta find what works for you, and you guys got this.
And for my last, for the people who are friends with someone that has these issues, that talks about these
Mm,
issues, be a good friend, please.
yeah,
like you're never gonna feel what they feel. It's extremely difficult to understand what a panic attack feels like
Yeah.
unless you've had it.
Unless
And I'm
you've
telling you right now,
that is probably
it feels like you're dying.
my biggest pet peeve is when people pretty much just tell me it's just anxiety. You're okay. I could talk about this for hours, but I'm gonna leave my bit about anxiety on that and mental health for today's episode, at least on that. You know, don't let people tell you that it's just anxiety. It's find people that care about you and are gonna talk to you. Surround yourself with people that love you, pretty much.
Exactly.
And
I agree.
And
my love for you, Ethan.
Everybody loves everybody. Like Jackie
My
Moon said,
love for you.
Like Jackie Moon said in Semi-Pro, everybody loves everybody. Everybody love everybody. However he said it.
I love you, Ethan.
Love you too, Dev.
No, you don't.
And work out. You should work out. Workout helps. Working out helps. Do exercise, that really helps. Healthy diet, that helps. I used to meditate when it was pretty bad, and that helped me a lot. Just all of those stuff, do your research. Like anything we've discussed in today's episode, do your research on it and find what works for you. And I think on that note, I think we're now 15-ish in or something like that. I think it's a good time to wrap up the first episode. A little bit of a more serious episode today, but it was for a first episode, which I think is needed for the first episode. We'll probably talk about we'll figure out what we talk about next week. It won't all be about the same stuff. Like we said, it's not going to doesn't have a select topic that we'll talk about. The only thing that's going to pretty much stay every week is mental health, because we're both big advocates on that. So any closing remarks, Dev?
I just want to say this was fun. I enjoyed doing this. It's the fastest hour of my life.
Honestly. Yeah, that did not feel like an hour.
Yeah, that was great. That was fun.
That was fun.
Honestly, that went better than I thought.
Honestly, yeah, I hope you guys like this first episode. There's probably some awkward pauses in there. I noticed during the episode the connection was a little iffy at times, so we got to figure that out still. So there might be a little where our voice sounds a bit like chalky or whatever the word is. So we'll figure it all out. Hopefully by next episode we have all the little kinks sorted out. And I think it was a good start. Yeah, I agree. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. All right, thanks for tuning in. Follow us everywhere. There'll be links in bio of our YouTube channel. Peace.